Hello YouTube, it is Champion DJK coming at you again with another video, and today I've got, well, a treat, I think, for you. It's a treat for me to open these up and really get to take a close look at them. I did peek at a couple of these models, but what we got in front of you is essentially, well, what was DCT, so this is a DCT model, all right. What was DCT has now been rebranded as Shadow. Look at that. I think so. GCD was the parent company of, or whatever, same company, I guess, that made DCT. This is all going to get confusing. So DCT, GCD were the same company. Now it's like Shadow and like Shadow Limited or something weird like that. These are not licensed, I believe. I'm pretty sure every single one of these is not licensed. They were all also purchased from AliExpress, which is like my favorite place to get unlicensed models. Typically is where I would go. I don't know why there's a sticker on this that was on here and then it got ripped off. I don't really know. It's all gooey. Probably should have just left that on there. Anyway, it looks like we're going to have a mirror issue on this one. The mirror's floating around in the package. So we got a quality concern right off the bat, or at least a damage in transit. But anyway, Shadow model. And there's two that I'm really excited to look at, and that's these Dome Zeros. These are really cool. I got it in two different colors. Might go back and get the rest of the colors of this one. This is a really cool model. So if you see them as Shadow diecast, they're the newer. They should be like mostly newer castings and stuff like that. We got two BMWs. I think that's a Pujo. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is the 505 SW, which I think this is a Pujo, right? I'm not sure because it doesn't say Pujo on it because it's not licensed, and so at least they're not bolded enough to actually put the oh, this one came right off, to actually put the car manufacturer on it, which is funny. So I don't know what that's about. We got the side mirror is floating around in here. It's right here. I may have to attempt to fix that. I got this new like UV curing epoxy glue kind of stuff that maybe that's a good thing to try it on. Might try it there. Anyway, this casting is cool. I've got a version of this already, but this one was like turbo cheap on AliExpress, so I just couldn't like resist picking up. I think I paid like $5 or something like that for it. So real basic, just made in China on the base. It's a plastic base, but it is rubber tires. Paint quality seems to be pretty decent on all these models usually. I've got a bunch of DCT now, / Shadow model. Yeah, the paint quality on the back of this ain't that great. But the taillights are inserted bits. Same with the headlights. The front end of this car looks pretty well detailed. It rolls really nice. I think some of these models have suspension. This one does not. Gray interior on this thing and a broken off mirror, unfortunately. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to fix it with that epoxy. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll be successful. That would be pretty sweet. Gotta try it. UV curing epoxy. I'm kind of interested to try it. Maybe I'll follow up with you on some video and mention it again, but normally I use like a gel type super glue and that tends to work good, but in this case where it's not the mirror fell out, it's broken off. So we're going to have to that's going to take some skill to get that to glue back. Other than that mirror issue, this is a pretty cool model branded as DCT. Now they've changed it to Shadow, and essentially the philosophy should be the same. I think they're all going to still be plastic bases, metal body. They come in an acrylic case, which is nice. And they're not screwed down to the base either. So they just come in that acrylic case, and you can easily just remove it without having to get a screwdriver. Well, this one, they do put stickers on there, or tape, to keep that together. Get rid of that. And this is a Pujo, right, as well. This is the 206. Cute little car. I'm trying to get, and I may get one of every tooling from these guys, just because I've kind of built a little interesting collection of them, and they're not licensed, so you can hate on me for that, and it's completely fair. I get it. But I don't get it enough to not buy these things for cheap, because they're fun. They're fun to have. It's not like I'm buying them and reselling them and whatnot. It's just kind of fun to have. And it's not like one of my favorite brands is ever going to make this car. They're just not. So it's not like I'm taking sales away. And if like somebody like Mini GT or Auto World were to make this car, I'd buy it from them probably as well. Maybe. I mean, I don't get too excited about this particular Pujo. But it's cool. I mean, it rolls. It's in a nice color green. Paint seems to be good quality. We got inserted taillights, of course, and headlights that look fairly good. Fit and finish on these is never exactly 100% polished and perfect, but these are not expensive. Shipped from China, they're like maybe $10, sometimes $12, just depending on what it is. Sometimes even cheaper than that. So for that price, this is a pretty solid little model. So I'm digging it. All right. So that's the Pujo 206 5-door. We'll set that. Actually, let's keep these guys out. So here's the Pujo. Here's the Pujo. Check those out. All right. And then let's do the BMWs. We're going to save the Dome Zero for last. So this Dome Zero, spoiler alert, this thing has like opening features and stuff, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to with this brand. All right, the 850 CSI BMW. So notice how it doesn't say BMW. There is no licensing indication anywhere on this. So it is a misfit toy. Let's open it up. I did open this one up, and I did take a picture of this already. So I did look at it somewhat close, but not too close. Just enough to pull it out of the package and take a picture. And so I might have my fingerprints on it and all that. I mean, that looks, right? Pretty darn good. Well, there's a little bit of issue there when they probably did the casting and they had to knock some of the flashing off. They kind of screwed up the one wheel well on this side. You can kind of see it. At least you can see it a lot more there. The car is, this one does, I think, have a little suspension. Yep. The car does have, it's all black, so it's a little bit harder to see that issue. This side looks great. Nothing wrong with it. So we do have inserted details up front for headlights. This thing has pop-up. Ooh, does it? No way. I actually didn't notice this when I was taking a picture of it, but this thing has the little lever down here. It has individual levers, one for each headlight. Those don't really want to pop up, though, do they? I don't want to break it. I mean, that's barely... Well, hang on. Let's look at the back here real quick first. Alpina. The tail lights leave a bit to be desired. They look massive. I don't know if that's scale accurate to the car. Maybe it is. I'm not that familiar with it. So these look like... Oh, you have to get them like past. Oh, man. Well, I got one up. And I think that's all we're going to do. It's just painted silver under there, and they barely pop up. And maybe that's accurate to the real vehicle. Maybe they only do pop up just a little bit. You have to really push hard, though, with your fingernail, and you have to get it, like, almost looks like those are, like, hand cut out. Now to get it back down, you got to sneak your fingernail in there, or maybe just push it down. I don't want to break it. Oh, there you go. Pushed it down. Had to push it down really hard to get it down. So, cool concept. Not exactly 100% great execution on it. This car looks great like that, like from the side, like that. It looks fantastic. Other than that, I mean, I did order this in another color as well. I got like a brown one coming that should be cool with like different wheels. I just do not have it yet and did not want to wait for it because it has not even shipped yet, and it was a pre-order from a really long time ago, which I should just cancel and reorder from someone else because it is taking forever. Rolls really nice. I mean, overall, I think it's a pretty good tooling, and again, it's inexpensive, so that is definitely a factor when it comes to picking up. So the other funny thing is this is branded as Shadow, but they still have the DCT label right there. Did they have that for the Pujo? No, the Pujo had Shadow. So this is made these before I guess they made the packaging and decided to do the brand switch. All right. Next BMW is the M5 E60. And get this one. That's the other thing. The this packaging, the cardboard on here is always like super tight around that acrylic. Oh, shoot. Come on. This is extra sticky. It sucks because I gotta get this off, otherwise it won't come out here smooth. So this one does have Shadow branding. I'm noticing that already on the base of the car. Let's get this one open. And check out the casting. Again, rolls really nice. Fair details up there. That ain't that great looking. A little rough. Paint seems to be pretty good. Taillights look pretty decent. Again, screw together. This one does not have any sort of like suspension or anything. I swear some of these do. Yeah, it's a pretty decent model. I don't know. I'm on the fence with these about how great they are, but they are nice, I guess. And they always come out, whenever they come out with a car, they come out with it in like 6 different colors and sometimes wheel combinations and all that. So you get a good choice right off the bat when they produce them. It's like this thing at least came on like probably 5 other colors than what you're seeing here. This one also came in a bunch of other colors. And I just picked this weird like brownish metal flake one because I thought that was a cool color, kind of unique color for the car. And I thought that was pretty good. So quality-wise, I mean, it's you know, it's not super premium. It's not as good as even like a Mini GT, but it is pretty good. Again, for the price you pay, I think it's nice. If you don't care about licensing, right? If you're a diehard, everything's got to be licensed in my collection, then don't buy these because they are not. So, got to be honest about that. All right. Next is the Dome Zero. We'll start with the one that's kind of like the, I guess, prototype car color for this that is typical, that you would typically see. Now, the only other diecast company I know that has made this car that I'm aware of is, I believe it was Tomica Limited, or Tomica Limited. I think that's the only one that's ever made this car in like close to 1/64 scale in my memory. Maybe there's another one out there. What is the car? If you're not familiar with that, this is a concept car that was made by Dome, which Dome typically makes like racing cars, or has made racing cars. They tried to make this car go into production. It was not commercially viable, and they had to abandon ship. And mostly because I don't think they could get it to be passable as a street legal vehicle by any regulatory body in the U.S. or Japan, or Europe, probably even for that matter. But this is your quintessential wedge shape. A wedge-shaped car. I actually don't know who designed the body, but it does have the look of, like, you know, that 70s wedge. And I think that's when this was made too, is like mid to late 70s. But this particular Shadow model has no shortage of details. I mean, it's got a lot of detail going on. So even like this plastic piece that's a separate piece for the bumper, it is a metal body. You can tell by the door gaps there, those open, and we'll check that out in a second. We've got some detail in the back, the back underneath, which looks pretty awesome. The wheels look pretty cool. The wheels always remind me of Blaster Master, the old NES game, if you're familiar with that. Taillights look pretty cool, but yeah, Blaster Master wheels. Just very, like, typical what they thought space was going to look like for that, or, you know, an alien vehicle would look like for that era. So it does have pop-up headlights, and these pop up pretty easy, just a little lever there, and that's what they look like. Pretty nifty. That looks pretty cool. And then this does have opening doors. I almost wish they didn't have the opening doors, because obviously the door gaps would be better if they didn't. But I will say, for this type of like scissor door, they did a great job making this work, like almost, dare I say, better than Tomica Limited Vintage did with their Countach. Look at that. That is so weird, just having the shifter right by the door there. It's just, you know, the steering wheel's on the right-hand side. It's a right-hand drive vehicle. This thing is pretty awesome. The interior is green. Just a cool, very cool model. I think this is really cool. I definitely do not regret picking up this one. The only thing I would recommend is the doors don't really need to open. They did a great job of the gaps here, but they do have quite a thick crevasse in the door there. And it's very visible, especially in the silver. The pop-up headlights are really awesome as well. And again, these models are not expensive. So it rolls as well, rubber tires, all that good stuff. So this is a really cool model. Let's go ahead and just take a look at its other color. And again, this came out in a few different colors. And I think, though, the prototype was that silver with green. I think that's an accurate color for the prototype. I don't know that they actually put it out in any other color or built any more than one model. I didn't really look it up. Maybe two tops that they built that were rolling prototypes. And I think they actually did work. They were like full functioning, or at least the one prototype was full functioning. I'm pretty sure it was. And again, this Dome company typically built race cars all the way into like the 2000s, I think, and maybe beyond. I'm not really sure. I did like just a quick Wikipedia lookup. I know that's not always the most accurate resource before filming this video, just so I could at least say something about the company for you. So you're welcome for that. I tried, okay? But here it is in red, and I don't think red is a color that it, you know, ever was produced in. But you can imagine, you know, if these did go to production, it would came out in several different colors. And this again has our pop-up headlights. Not as clean on this particular model as they are on the silver one. Paint's a little thick on this, and that causes them to not really shut fully. So you got to kind of push them down. Kind of afraid to do it without chipping the paint. But there's a little bit of roughness there. As you can see, oh yeah, right there. You can see that paint's a little thick. So that's not great. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to get this model, get it in the silver. Again, they did come up with a couple other colors, and I would consider getting all of them, but definitely get it in the silver. Let's check out the opening door so we can see the interior is kind of grayish, bluish, greenish, bluish, kind of. It's a different color. Steering wheel there, looking pretty nifty. Get these doors shut. And again, they open and shut pretty darn well. It's just that gap there. Really cool model. I mean, this is very cool. I am very tempted to go back and get the other colors. Kind of am. And I know this one is really cheap on AliExpress right now. So I recommend this. I would probably get this one. I might get this one in a couple more colors as well, just because of the price. And you just never know how long these things will hang around before they'll disappear. So these are kind of on the level. If you're familiar with JKM, is another weird one that shows up on AliExpress. It's kind of like an unlicensed Chinese kind of thing, just like this shadow model. So if you are, interested in that kind of stuff, JKM would be another one I would recommend to check out. Just kind of see what they got. But very cool models. I'm digging it. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. Y'all have a good day. This is going to be in the playlist that is premium / import diecast, where all the cool stuff goes. So check out that playlist if you want to see more cool content, more odd brands, more fun stuff that you may want to spend your diecast dollar on. I don't know. Check them out. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day.